Welcome. Let's be honest, if you've ever tackled a research project, you know it can feel like a huge chore, right? But what if all of that could change? Today, we're going to dive into a new suite of AI tools that can completely supercharge your research process, making it faster, smarter, and way more powerful.
I mean, think about it. You know the drill. Endless hours digging through search results, you've got a million tabs open, you're drowning in a sea of PDFs, and just struggling to connect all the dots. This old school approach is just so time-consuming, and it often leads to total information overload. It's so easy to get lost before you even really get started.
But here's the good news. The tools we're about to cover aren't just clever little novelties. No, they're a revolutionary new toolkit that can basically act as your personal research assistant, streamlining every single step of your journey.
Okay, let's dive right in. We'll start with Phase 1, Discovery. This is, you could argue, the most important part of any project, figuring out what's already known and just mapping out the whole landscape of knowledge on your topic.
So normally, you'd probably head to Google or a library database, right? But that can be such a slow, inefficient process of just clicking link after link after link. Imagine, instead, if you could just ask a question and get a concise, clear summary with all the sources attached.
Well, that's exactly what Perplexity AI does. You can think of it like a super smart search engine that was built specifically for research. It just cuts through all the noise, it searches academic and other trusted sources, and it gives you a summary you can actually digest in seconds.
So you might be asking, how does it actually pull that off? How does it deliver such targeted, relevant information so quickly? Let's take a look at the actual process. The process is it's beautifully simple. You just type in your topic, you click the academic focus button to make sure it's searching real papers, and boom, it gives you a summary complete with links to every single source it used. So you get all the speed of AI, but you still have that crucial ability to go and verify everything for yourself.
But what about understanding the bigger picture? Not just seeing a list of papers, but seeing how they all connect with each other. For that, we've got to go to the next level of discovery. And this is where a tool called Research Rabbit comes in. It doesn't just find papers for you, it creates an interactive map of the entire citation network. This lets you visually explore the web of research, seeing how ideas and different authors are all connected.
And understanding this map is absolutely key. As you can see, the blue nodes, those are new, similar papers for you to explore. The green ones are papers you already have in your collection. And you can even switch over to a timeline view to see how ideas have evolved over the years and spot who the really influential authors are in any given field.
So once you've discovered all your sources, you move into Phase 2, Analysis. And this is where the next big challenge really begins, actually digesting all that information and starting to synthesize your own ideas.
This phase really has two different parts. First, you're breaking down the content you've found, and then you're building up your own content from it. And luckily for us, there are specific AI tools designed for each of those tasks.
So first, for analysis, there's Sizmore. You can upload any PDF, and it basically becomes an interactive document. You can ask it for a quick summary, you can ask really specific questions about the content, and you can even highlight a complex equation and just ask the AI to explain it in plain English. It's like having an expert sitting right there next to you.
Then, for the synthesis part, there's a tool called Graduate. You give it your topic, your target audience, and the style you need, and it generates a well-structured first draft, complete with citations embedded right in the text and a full reference list at the end. The really crucial point here is that it automates the most tedious parts of academic writing, which frees you up to focus on the ideas themselves.
All right, now for the final phase. You've done the reading, you've done the writing, but to really make an impact, you need to communicate your findings clearly, and that means working with data and creating some really compelling visuals.
And this is often a huge roadblock, right? You might have a spreadsheet that's full of raw data, but turning that into a statistically sound analysis and some professional-looking charts, that can feel like a whole other project all by itself.
Meet Julius AI. This tool is effectively your own personal data analyst. You can upload a data file and then, using just simple text prompts, ask it to clean the data, run statistical tests, and generate visualizations. It does all the complex Python coding for you in the background. The process is just incredibly direct. For example, you can upload a spreadsheet and just type a prompt like, create a bar chart comparing the performance of group A, B, and C, and you'll get a clean, clear visual like this one in just a few seconds.
But what about visualizing more abstract concepts? I'm not talking about data, but
ideas, workflows, or theoretical models. Creating polished diagrams for those can be incredibly difficult if you're not a graphic designer.
Well, ChatGPT's image generation capability is the perfect tool for this. You can describe the diagram you want in a text prompt, or, and this is even more impressive, you can draw a rough sketch by hand, upload a photo of it, and ask the AI to transform it into a professional quality diagram. I mean, this process basically bridges that huge gap between a quick idea you sketched on a tablet and a polished, publication-ready figure. It's just a really powerful way to communicate your concepts visually.
Okay, so let's tie all three of these phases together into one single transformed workflow. We've looked at tools for discovery, for analysis, and for creation. So what does this mean for the research process as a whole?
Here you can see the entire modern workflow in action. You start by mapping the field with Perplexity and ResearchRabbit. Then you dive deep with Sizemore and you draft your paper with Graduate. Finally, you bring your findings to life with Julius AI and ChatGPT. The result is a research process that is it's exponentially faster, more insightful, and way more efficient.
But this isn't just about saving time. It's about unlocking potential. By removing all the friction and all the tedious parts of research, these tools free you up to think bigger. So the real question is, with an AI assistant ready to help, what new frontiers are you going to explore? What are the big questions you'll now have the power to answer?